All right, so welcome to the Critical Weight Theory podcast, and I'll let you introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Amani Roberts. I'm a fractional artist manager, DJ, and author, and I'm happy to be here.
All right, so what exactly is it that you do? Because I don't exactly know like what to ask about.
Yeah. So, as a fractional artist manager, I help artists properly monetize their artwork, specifically musicians. I make sure they have all their royalties set up, starting with their PROs, starting with making sure they have their digital royalties. And then we activate some platforms that they need to be on, for example, Patreon. Um, we get their communities going on like a Discord, start pitching them for I would say festivals, sync opportunities and commercials, getting their music in commercials, TV, film, etc., and growing their email list, growing their community.
So you're a little bit like a publicist for musicians, right?
Publicist is a small part of it because I make sure they
Okay.
get their money. I help them publicize themselves and I help them grow their community. So it's a small piece of it. So that would be yes, a little bit, yes.
And are you a musician yourself, or well, like a
Yes.
DJ? You said.
Professional. Yeah, professional DJ. I like to say the turntable is an instrument and I grew up playing the saxophone.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can say that I'm in the camp that says that the turntable is like an instrument
Mhm.
because you can alter the pitches of things and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah,
So
agreed.
what sort of artists have you worked with?
Worked with a soul artist and helped her release two singles for her. We're still growing. She's got her Patreon going. I'm working with a rock band. They're kind of going on a small mini tour right now, and I'm pitching them for a lot of sync opportunities and growing their community. I work with a pop singer, got her up and running with all her royalties, the PRO, the digital performance royalties with Sound Exchange, publishing with Song Trust, and we have her starting to perform out more, and we're pitching her for festivals and other appearances.
So what about like an avant-garde musician like
Oh,
myself? Is there
okay.
is there any sort of hope for somebody like me? Not to say that
Sure.
I'm interested in expanding that much or whatever. I
Yeah,
I
well,
kind of like the underground cred of having very few listeners or whatever. But
well,
just
if that's
hypothetically,
if you wanted to grow,
yeah.
and then we would figure out kind of where your market is, what areas do you want to grow in, whether it's growing your community, whether you want to be have some of your music in like TV and film. We kind of figure out your goals and then attack it that way. So that's kind of how we look at yours. What genre would you say you fit into?
Um, well, very loosely, sort of a rock thing. Like
Okay.
some people would say minimalist. I suppose. I guess there's an element of that, but I can also do some ambient synthesizer stuff. You
Hmm.
know, it's kind of tricky to pigeonhole it and say exactly what it is I do because sometimes I play relatively conventional stuff. So like how would you promote something like that that's sort of like a mixed bag?
Right.
I think that would be one of my big problems.
Yeah. Well, we have to find where your people are. Where are the other musicians like yourselves who have a larger following? Find out where their fans are coming from and just pursue your fans in a similar fashion. Whether it be using platforms like a Reddit to do research, Q&As, following the breadcrumbs of similar artists to you in that genre, minimalist, rock, etc., and seeing where they show up and how they're finding their fans to kind of duplicate their efforts.
And well, I've got sort of an interesting question since the
Mhm.
apparent demise of MTV. Um, what do you think the future is for music videos and things like that? Because that's obviously been a huge part of promotion, but right now things are sort of, I guess, decentralized, and it seems like it's harder to know exactly what to do if you are a musician who isn't quite savvy with social media and stuff like that.
Yeah. Music videos still live very well on YouTube. So I would definitely say create a video, put it on YouTube because people will go and find you on YouTube and check that out. So whereas MTV definitely died many years ago because they hardly ever show videos
Sure,
anymore,
sure.
I think music videos are still important. You can create a lyric video if you have lyrics, or you can create now it's pretty easy with AI, like animated videos that goes underneath your music, which can help. So I definitely think that for music videos, YouTube is your platform.
Oh, and that's actually an interesting topic, AI, of course, because there are some people who are always like steaming mad about AI. They hate everything about it, and of course, it can be a controversial thing that takes jobs away and whatnot. But like, I have to admit, I've used it because I distribute my music through DistroKid,
Yeah,
and it seems like they want album artwork, but I haven't really been doing like visual art that much in
hmm,
recent years. So I've resorted to AI in order to do that. So I'm
yeah.
a little bit guilty of that. And so, what are some ways that something like AI could be an ally to musicians instead of just being an enemy? I'm wondering
I
what your
think
thoughts are.
AI can be a very good tool. It can help you, maybe get a reference track for a song that you're working on. If you're using something like Suno, it can help you. I predict that AI will be able to help artists collect their royalties a little bit better, a little easier through the use of blockchain and AI, the combination of those two together. I think it can help you kind of fine tune your lyrics and do the writing. Where I think the real friction comes is that you want to continue to perform yourself. You don't want AI performing your song for you, in my opinion. And then for live shows, if you're performing live, they still need a human. Like, of course, you have AI, and maybe there'll be an avatar or like a hologram, but that gets kind of old in a minute. Like, I think there's nothing like the purity of someone performing their music in person, where it's not perfect, but we love the imperfections.
Sure, I definitely agree with that. Like, I mean, one of the problems, at least in my opinion, obviously this is just me saying this, but I like the idea of music not being perfect. When I hear, like a lot of modern pop, it sounds too not only formulaic, but like it's almost like these artists would want it to be even more formulaic if they could find a way to make it, more
Yeah.
generic in a lot of cases. I don't know, like,
Yeah, I think you see a lot of the current pop follows pretty much the same chord structures: the one, the four, the
yeah.
five, back to the one. Maybe they go a three and a six or a 2-5-2, maybe. Um, so it does follow similar chord structures. Pretty much it's like intro, verse, chorus, outro. Very few bridges in popular music where
Oh
there used
yeah.
to be long minute or two bridges. No really more interludes or outerludes, so to speak. So, but that leaves
Usually
an
not even
opportunity.
usually not even intros that much.
I
I mean,
know.
an
I
intro
know.
is what you would think would be the thing that would be spared because you're trying to do something unique to catch a person's attention, you would
Yeah,
think. I don't
no,
know.
no. Right away, it's the verse or the chorus right off the bat. So, yeah, there's an opportunity. If there is an artist out there who says, you know what, I still want to kind of go back to the old school way of intro,
Yeah.
outro, bridge, it could work because it might resonate with more people. It sounds
And
different now.
to be fair, there have always been some songs that like skipped in it. Like punk rock did that a lot, like
Hmm.
especially hardcore punk. But even then, a lot of the times you want some sort of build up, and I just think that's quite often lacking in a lot of modern music.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So, how would you characterize current trends in music? Is there like, I mean, I mentioned rock music. I'm sort of a rocker at heart, I suppose, in some ways. So, would you say that rock music is at all making a resurgence, or is it still like kind of in the crapper?
Well, I'll never say rock music is in the crapper. It's just it's not as mainstream as it once was because there's so many other genres that are dominating the airways now. But there's still loyal rock fans. There's still younger rock fans that are playing the music, discovering the music. It's just not quite in the mainstream. It takes you a little time to find it, and I still think it's there. It won't go away. It won't ever die. It's just you have to search a little harder for it currently.
And as far as reaction videos go on YouTube, I find myself watching those fairly often. And it seems like a lot of record labels are basically at war with reaction videos. So,
Mm.
do you think there is a way to maybe bridge the gap between those reactors and the record labels?
Bridge the gap, maybe, but that's like reaction videos. Someone who's listening to a song for the first time and maybe giving their reaction, like we used to do that. It just wasn't recorded. So,
Yeah, yeah,
now it's recorded, now it's online. And I don't know if there's a way to bridge the gap. Maybe record labels to combat that can do live listening sessions and stream that just to get people's opinions. That could be a way to combat it. But reaction videos are kind of pure and they can fight it as much as they want, but it is what it is. So I say they have to get over that.
yeah. So, do you have like record label contacts? Do you talk with them, or are you more like a record label yourself? Like, how does that work
Yeah.
out?
I'm not a record label myself. I am pro artist. I have record label contacts at many, many labels. In fact, if there's an artist who I feel would be a good fit for a label and they're ready, I would introduce them and do a introduction. So because I'm pro artist, I have to ask. I haven't really talked to many record label people I know about reaction videos, but I'll have to ask them and get their perspective.
Yeah, because as much as a person might find reaction videos kind of silly, I know a lot of people do watch them and they do act as a way to promote,
Hmm.
especially older songs, and sort of rekindle interest in those.
Yeah, yeah,
And of
yeah.
course,
It's
there are
good.
some newer song reaction videos as well. And some of those
I mean,
people,
it's
they definitely have a lot of followers. And I don't understand why these record labels have to basically be at war with them. To me, it doesn't really add up. It seems like it would actually hurt the companies.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's it's probably well, record labels are probably a little bit more traditional in their thought process on reaction videos because they only want good things out there. But I mean, whether it's a reaction video or a thread on Reddit or somewhere else, like people are talking about it. So I would think and hope that they would focus less on that and just trying to focus on working with their artists to make even better products. That's my opinion. Better songs.
was that like a Freudian slip or
Maybe so.
something? Well,
Yeah.
like when it comes to, do you assist with songwriting at all? Like how
Mm.
immersed are you with the artists? I guess I would say, or do you like to leave them sort of alone? Do they ever ask for advice?
Advice, yes. In terms of the creative process, I kind of like to let them do their own thing. Like I'm not really, a songwriter, although I've written songs before. And if I'm working with someone to write songs, it's usually separate from that. But I try to help the artist strictly focus on the business side of things, let them write their artwork. Now, if they ask me my opinion, what about this lyric or that lyric? I'll tell them my opinion. But otherwise, I like to kind of give them the space to live in their own creative world.
So, have any artists asked for your opinion on things? I mean, is it something that's normalized with your sort of profession?
Yes, yes. They ask for my opinion. What do you think about this song? What do you think about maybe these lyrics? If they ask, I'll tell them we've reviewed songs, maybe certain different mixes of a song, rhythm, what I think about lyrics overall. So they'll ask, yes, and I'll give them my opinion. But for the most part, they'll sometimes they take my words for advice, sometimes they'll ignore it.
And have there, let's see, how should I word this? Have there been any artists that you had a hard time helping? You don't have to name names or anything here, but like what was there a
Yeah.
point where you're like, oh man, this is going to be rough?
I think it's more so some of the things I'm helping them with are out of our control. Like we can pitch all day for sync placements, festival placements, but sometimes it just takes a long time where you're not getting anything. So sometimes for things that are out of our control, it's been a long road. But usually there's benefits to work with me. Like if we're having trouble with the sync side or with festivals, they've got their royalties locked up. They know where the money's coming from. They're going to get some money 6 to 9 months that they would not have gotten if they hadn't worked for me. They will grow their email list. They'll have a Patreon going where they're growing that. So that's why we implement different aspects so we can get some quick wins, easy wins. So even if it takes longer, 9 months to get sync placement or getting a festival, they've experienced some wins along the way. So most of the time, there's always some wins with artists I'm working with.
And like, how did you get into this field? What originally kind of sparked your interest in it?
Through teaching as a college professor, teaching music business and seeing the knowledge gap there. And then, of course, reading and studying different groups when I was writing my second book, I just saw that there was a consistent issue of education that artists lacked. That's why they were getting taken advantage of. They were missing out on money. So when you combine that, I said, well, I want to come up with a solution that I can help artists of today not repeat the same mistakes of artists and groups of the past. So that's where it came from. And I've been doing this work for 4 or 5 years now, and I continue to learn. So whenever I learn, I continue to teach my artists so that they learn from current mistakes that artists are making and mistakes that artists have made in the past, and just get them more money.
And what are some of those mistakes that these artists have made?
Some is as simple as not registering with the PRO, like they're not affiliated with the ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, not reading contracts. So unknowingly, they're giving away the rights to their master recordings for decades. There's no reversion clause, so they're stuck. Sometimes they don't even own their name. That's a bigger story, but it's mostly just contracts, not having their royalties with the PRO, not even signing up for publishing when they're having a lot of plays internationally, so they're missing out on that money. Not knowing about signing up for their digital royalties if a song's played on SiriusXM, iHeartRadio, Pandora. Those are the most common errors made.
Sure. And when it comes to online radio stations, is there like how do you combat if there's any sort of uh, online thing that's shortchanging somebody or sort of ripping somebody off? Do you have to like file a lawsuit to deal with that, or
You can do, if they're like maybe they're playing a song without permission, you can do a takedown notice. But a lot of online things are really hard to manage. It's kind of still the wild, wild west. So
sure?
it just is what it is. But there are takedown notices you can do. You can do a cease and desist, but that's real major. So I haven't run into that too much because usually
Okay.
online platforms still have to pay the PRO, which then through the blanket license, which then gets back to the artist eventually. So most of the time, it's still pretty covered.
Well, that's refreshing to hear, I suppose.
Yeah, it's just
Um,
that most artists don't know, so the money just sits there.
yeah. And I guess is there anything else you would like to discuss here? Because we've
If
already
you
been
have
talking
any
for 17 minutes.
if you have your any artists that are part of your community that want to set up a call and talk to me for free, I do free calls with artists and musicians all the time. They can go to amaniexperience.com/call, and we can talk about what they're working on, what concerns they have, see how I can help them, or point them to some good resources that can help them right away.
All right. Well, sounds good. And I do hope that you have luck uh, in the future, because who knows what's going to happen in this economy. I mean, things seem rough, and I'm sure that's going to impact all sorts of industries. So, you know, I wish you luck on that.
Thank you, thank you. I feel
And I'm trying to think of another question here. Okay, do you happen to run into any competing business ideas that are a problem with your industry or something like that? If you know
um
if you know what I mean, I don't know,
I, like competition. I think
like
there's
how
always
cutthroat is it? I guess I'll say it like that.
I think it's not that cutthroat. I mean, if an artist wants help, they'll find you, and then if we have a conversation. If I resonate with them and they feel like they enjoy my philosophy and get along, that's fine. So I think even though there's competition, which is fine, there's enough people out there who need help with the money that there's enough business for all of us. So it's not really that cutthroat. It's just really just trying to build awareness. And I'm really pro artist. So if they can benefit from working with someone else and not me, that's what they should do. I'll tell them to do that. So it's less cutthroat because there's not a lot of people out that do what I do, first of all. And we're just trying to help the artists. So that's my main goal, first of all.
All right. Well, thanks for taking time to talk with me. And I I still look like Casper the ghost because
Well,
of this
thanks.
weird lighting in here, and I
Yeah, well,
probably have
thank
bad
you.
hair right now too. So,
No
uh,
worries, no worries. Well, thank you very much for having me. It's been
oh
a
yeah.
pleasure talking to you.
All right. Well, have a good one.
Okay, take care.